Meeting to order. Would everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now the city clerk will be swearing in our two council members, Gina Jesetic and Mark McLean.
That way we can write on it. First, what I will do, I spoke with Mayor Gibbons about this. I had it under city clerk reports, but actually I'm going to read into the record the certified election results first. So we'll start with for mayor, Mark Zimmer, 2,099 votes. Liz Gibbons, 3,662 votes. For seat of council member, Paul Schaefer, 3,226 votes. Al Reinecker, 2,941 votes. Mark McLean, 3,396 votes. Gina Jesetic, 3,075 votes. Bob Sears, 2,880 votes. And Ron Ruzicka, 2,397 votes. So now that that's entered into the record, what we'll do is I'll call up Gina Jesetic. Gina, what I'll have you do, I'm not going to after me. So if you just raise your right hand. Do you, Gina Jesetic, solemnly swear that you possess all the qualifications prescribed by law for the office of council member of the city of Kirkwood, that you will support the Constitution of the United States and of the state of Missouri, the provisions of all laws of the state of Missouri affecting the city of Kirkwood, and the ordinances of the city of Kirkwood, and that you will faithfully demean yourself in office?
I do.
All right, congratulations. Have you signed your oath here? Yeah.
I do, yeah, I will, sure.
Right, and now we will swear in Mark McLean. Mark will do as Gina did. All right, you're ready.
I do.
Okay. There we go. You, Mark McLean, solemnly swear that you possess all the qualifications prescribed by law for the office of council member of the city of Kirkwood, that you will support the Constitution of the United States and of the state of Missouri, the provisions of all laws of the state of Missouri affecting the city of Kirkwood, and the ordinances of the city of Kirkwood, and that you will faithfully demean yourself in office.
I do.
All right, congratulations. Have you signed your oath here? Take your seat.
Thank you very much.
Turn this around real quick.
Congratulations, you two.
Thank you.
I call this meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Mayor Gibbons,
Here.
Councilmember Jesetic.
Here.
Councilmember Litzo.
Here.
Councilmember McLean.
Here.
Councilmember Reinecker.
Here.
Councilmember Schaefer.
Here.
Councilmember Zimmer.
Here.
Since there are no introductions, recognitions, presentations, we'll move straight into the public hearing. At this time, the council will recess to conduct the public hearing regarding the request for a special use permit for an accessory dwelling unit at 740 North Taylor Avenue in a detached structure. Mr. Hessel, do you wish to enter any exhibits into the record?
I would, Mayor. I'd offer as Exhibit 1, the affidavit publication verifying notice of public hearing appeared in St. Louis County. And Exhibit 2 is the affidavit publication verifying notice of public hearing appeared in the Webster Kirkwood Times. Exhibit 3 is a list of property owners to whom notice of this hearing has been sent. Exhibit 4 is the viewer map showing the property that is the subject of the public hearing as well as the surrounding properties. Exhibit 5 is a report from Amy Lowry, city planner, to the Planning and Zoning Commission identifying the request for the accessory dwelling unit. And Exhibit 6 is the Action of the Planning and Zoning Commission dated April 4, 2024, in which by a vote of 7-0, the commission recommended approval of a special use permit for an accessory dwelling unit at 740 North Taylor Road in a detached structure. And Exhibit 7 is the Code of Ordinances of the City of Kirkwood.
Thank you. Mr. Hawes, who will present this issue to the city council?
That would be Amy Lowry, City Planner 2.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. The addition of accessory dwelling units to the zoning code was a direct result of the Envision Kirkwood 2035 Comprehensive Plan enacted in 2016. The comp plan had 4 areas for action: housing and neighborhood, mobility and infrastructure, active living in the environment, and economic growth and vitality. Under the housing and neighborhood goals, Goal 4 was to promote a variety of housing types, with sub-goal 4.B to encourage higher density residential and mixed use in appropriate areas. An action item from those goals, 4B3, was to consider the potential for the allowance of accessory secondary dwelling units. The benefits of accessory dwelling units, as cited in the comp plan, are to provide affordable housing to meet the needs of different family configurations, to increase the housing supply, to allow seniors to live closer to their families, and to help young professionals entering the workforce. The ADU, accessory dwelling unit, as an accessory use in single-family residential zoning districts was added to the zoning and subdivision code with its adoption in February 2021. This is the city's first application for an ADU. The subject site, as we have said before, is on North Taylor Avenue, 740, and this is a little bit older photograph of when the house was being constructed. The lot is the southern lot of a 2-lot infill subdivision. The property is approximately 34,000 square feet. It's 115 feet wide by about 300 deep. And there's some photos of the house on the property and the rear yard. This is a site plan of the property, which shows the house. And this is the full property here, and then just a little bit closer look at the full house and the accessory dwelling unit here. On the floor plan, there'll be a 1-car garage in the basement, or on the bottom, sorry. And then a half bath, and then upstairs, there will be a full bath, a kitchenette area, and a bedroom area. The total of the accessory dwelling unit is 749 square feet. That excludes the garage and the unenclosed covered patio. And these are some elevations which have been approved by both the Landmarks Commission, because this is in the North Taylor Historic District, and by the Architectural Review Board. So in the zoning code, there are specific standards for accessory dwelling units, and this particular application does meet all of those standards. That is in my memo that was to the Planning and Zoning Commission, so I'll go through a few of the standards. It has to be in an accessory structure or within the main structure. And this particular ADU is in a detached garage. It has to be of a design that reflects the architectural style, materials, color, and roof design of the principal dwelling. This has been reviewed by both the Architecture Review Board and the Landmarks Commission to ensure that it does. It has to meet the principal setbacks in the zoning district for the main house, and this does. It does meet a 12-foot side setback and a 35-foot rear setback. The house, or the accessory dwelling unit, can have a maximum height of 2 stories, which this does. Only 1 accessory dwelling unit is permitted on an individual lot. This is the only one requested. The minimum lot size is for an accessory dwelling unit is 15,000 square feet. And as I've said, this is about a 34,000 square foot lot. And the maximum size is 750 square feet, and this one is 749 square feet. Conditions of note from the Planning and Zoning Commission. They did want, if there are applicable stormwater management plans that have to be looked at, they did want those approved by the MSD because this is a subdivision and it's under MSD's jurisdiction for stormwater. And then having the Landmarks Commission and the Architecture Review Board review the building design. So when a special use permit is reviewed by both the Planning and Zoning Commission and City Council, there are specific review criteria that should be looked at. And I'll just cite a couple of those. Number one is the proposed special use is established as an allowed special use in the applicable zoning district, which it is. And number two, the proposed use and design are consistent with the general purposes of the zoning code. Number seven, the proposed use will be harmonious with the existing or intended character of the general vicinity, and such use will not change the essential character of the area. And number 12 is wherever no specific area's frontage, height, or setback requirements are specified in the requirements for a special use, then such use shall be subject to the site development standards in the applicable zoning district, which it has been reviewed and approved for the applicable standards. That is all that I have. I'm available for questions, and the applicant is here as well to answer any questions that you may have.
Does the applicant wish to say anything?
Actually, I'm just here to answer questions, but the owners, Amy and Ben Smith, came to me and they wanted to do exactly this. I told them, nope, you can't do it. Kirkwood will not allow this. And after reading the ordinance over and over and over, I kept stumbling on this one paragraph and found out that we qualified for everything that was in here. I'd never seen it before, of all the times I read the ordinance. And lo and behold, it's the first one to go through, hopefully. And, you know, if any questions I can answer, glad to do it.
And you are the architect?
I'm the architect, David Pape.
Thank you. Does anyone have questions?
Yeah, I have a question. Your letter to Amy says it's a story and a half. And then later it says it's 2 stories. Which one is it?
It's two stories. It's allowed to be 2 stories. I just can't be higher than the existing building. I think the original letter was when we were doing it as just an accessory structure.
Anybody else?
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Amy might be able to say, what's the accessory building square footage? The total square,
749 square feet.
that's just of the ADU, right? What in-
That's the stair counted twice from the first floor and the second floor, and is counting the bathroom below and the bathroom above.
Right, we have an ordinance that says accessory buildings can't be more than 1,500 square feet.
That's a totally different thing.
Right, so does this count as an accessory structure under that?
It's accessory dwelling unit.
Okay, What's the square footage of the whole? Amy, do you know what I'm asking?
It doesn't matter because it's a different animal.
So we don't have,
I can answer that.
okay,
I don't have a calculator in front of me, but it is less than 1,500 square feet, and it does have to meet that standard well. It's 31 by 23.6. So whatever that is multiplied out. So for an accessory structure, it's just the footprint.
right. So it's under the 1,500?
It's under the
and
1,500.
There's no other buildings on that?
There's no other accessory structures on the lot right now.
Okay, great.
That's correct.
And then since I wasn't around for some of the ADU stuff, this doesn't change the zoning to multifamily residential, correct?
It does not, and I should have been more specific with some of the standards. The owner has to live in either the primary structure or in the accessory structure. So it cannot be an absentee owner renting out both spaces. They have to reside in one of those spaces.
So since it's a rental and maintenance of rental property, does this become a business?
It does not.
It doesn't fall under any business?
No,
Standard.
because you can rent out your house to another party without it being a business.
So there can be short-term rentals, long-term rentals?
There cannot be short-term rentals. That is a different special use permit that would be needed under our code. And right now we have no special use permits for short-term rentals in the city at all.
Amy, what makes this qualify for a special permit as opposed to being, if it was just a garage, it'd be permitted, right? If it was just a pool house, would it be permitted?
In an accessory structure right now, if you are not an accessory dwelling unit, we will allow a half bath. We do not allow showers. We do not allow kitchens, so that it cannot be a rentable unit. So the difference is because they're coming for a special use permit for an accessory dwelling unit, they are allowed to have a kitchen and a shower and a bedroom.
If I had a pool, I just wanted a pool house with a shower and a full bath, I would still have to come in front of
We would not allow you to have a shower.
a special permit, without a special. Permit.
Not unless you're an accessory dwelling unit. We do not allow showers in pool houses.
And then I noticed that there's a porch, and it has to be an unenclosed porch?
It has to be unenclosed, and Mr. Pape is going to work with staff. They may have, they're proposing perhaps some screening system. We want to see what that is before we determine whether that is still an unenclosed space.
And why does it have to be unenclosed?
Because that is also would be part of the accessory dwelling unit, and he's limited in size to 750 square feet, and that would add to it.
Over here. You have questions? Councilmember
Um,
Watson.
Okay, so the petitioner does intend to use this as rental property, but long-term rental, not short-term.
From what I understand right now, and correct me if I'm wrong, they actually just want it right now for a relative to live in.
Okay,
So it might not
So-
be even rental.
but more kind of along the lines of
A
what the
mother-in-law suite
code,
or,
intended for family members or something
Correct.
of that nature. I was
but
just wondering,
once they get the special use permit, if they wanted to rent it, they could do so.
right, but if they wanted to do an Airbnb or a VRBO, that's a
They
whole
could not.
other, it would not be permissible even if they came back.
They would have to come back and
And
get a
got
special use
permission.
permit for a short-term rental.
Right. Apparently, we have at least eight Airbnbs in the city of Kirkwood right now that are under the radar. I checked today just to see what's going on. I was just wondering, remind me, Amy, on a special use permit, if there should be some violation, let's say with owner residency on the property or something like that at some point in the future, the SUP could be revoked.
That is correct.
But there's no regular review of meeting the conditions, or remind me how that goes for special use permits.
Not with this necessarily, because once they have it, it would go with the land.
Mhm.
So unless they came back to us and said, you know what, we don't want to be this anymore, we're going to take out it would be difficult with this particular project because we did not, and to Mr. Councilmember Reineker's question before, because you can have a two-story accessory dwelling unit, we didn't evaluate this to see if it met our strict half-story definition. We have a pretty strict half-story. And
Yes.
it may not, just because the dormer is a little oversized,
Right.
but back to that, if they were, let's say it met the half-story and they decided, you know what, we're going to take out the shower and the kitchen and we're just going to make it an office and we don't want to be a special use anymore, we could change it then.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I think it does meet all of the code and setback. The lot is fairly large, off-street parking, all of that, so. Were there any, neighbors or anyone who came and spoke at planning and zoning?
I'll have to direct that to Mr. Raish because I was not at the Planning and Zoning
Okay.
Commission meeting, so.
Hello.
Hello.
No, there were no comments made at the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting.
So the commissioners themselves were totally good with all of this and none of the neighbors?
Yep, they were full support, 7-0, and recommend approval, and there were favorable comments made in the discussion.
Okay, all right, thank you. That's all. Thank you.
I do have a question if anyone doesn't know. Quick, occupancy. How's the, and forgive me for not knowing the Kirkwood occupancy code. So how do we control the number of occupants that reside in a,
That would be through the building code, and I don't have that information in front of me.
my one concern I would have is you have a one bedroom, and can we get 4 people in a one bedroom? Or if they try to make that 2 bedrooms?
Yeah, that would be an issue for the building code. So, and I don't know.
2 bedrooms.
Well, I mean, that would be my only concern. I think this is a wonderful, this is a great place to start this, but I think it's a great idea for this location. But my fear would be somewhere down the line, all of a sudden you get someone who rents it out to 4 college students.
And it'd be no different than a small house that's rented out to too many people.
All righty. We will move on to comments from the public now. David, has anyone completed a card to speak regarding this proposal?
Mayor and council, there are no requests for comment at this time.
All right. Hearing no further discussion, this public hearing is now closed. The bill will be on the May 16th council meeting agenda for first reading consideration. Okay, we're going to move to the consent agenda now. Oh,
Sorry, Mayor.
sorry. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Okay. We had too many public comments in a row. Yes, this is a new section of the meeting for anyone that wishes to make a public comment.
I'll read that. Do you still want?
Yes.
Okay. The public comments portion of the meeting is an opportunity for the city council to listen to comments from citizens. It is not a question and answer session, and the city council will not respond to comments or answer questions during this period. The mayor may refer any matter brought up to the city council to the chief administrative officer or city clerk if action is needed.
David, do you have any cards filled out that the public wishes to comment?
Mayor and council, there are no requests for comment at this time.
Very good. Now we will move on to the consent agenda. Is there a motion to accept the consent agenda?
So move.
Yeah, okay. So we have a second. Are there any questions or comments about the consent agenda?
Just a clarification, since 4 of us weren't there, can we all still vote on this?
Can abstain?
Okay, thank you.
The abstentions will go in the majority, so obviously we have 3 people who were there, so the 4 who were not there, your votes will be treated as going in the majority.
They still, the quorum and everything's set because we're all here. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so we'll go ahead and vote. All in favor of approval of the consent agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
We abstain. I abstain.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. All right, the consent agenda then passes. Thank you. So we'll move on to new business. Resolution 70-2024.
Yes, Mayor and council, this is a resolution accepting the single source proposal of So Social Marketing in the amount of $18,000 for social media marketing services for the electric department and authorizing and directing the mayor to enter into a contract.
Do I have a motion and a second to accept Resolution 70-2024 as read?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Are there any questions or comments on this resolution? If so, raise your hand.
Is this
Councilmember McLean.
I'm sorry, Mayor, is this an annual an annual approval of the budget, or is it like a 4-year contract?
It's a multi-year contract with an escalator each year. That is correct.
So if we vote on it, if we approve it, it's good for multi-years?
No, that's just this instance that you're approving. It would be budgeted in future years. The council would approve the budget.
Technically, it's 4 one-year contracts, and by approval this evening, it gets the first year, and then if the monies are appropriated in the normal budget process, then the contract automatically renews. It doesn't come back to you all. If in fact you don't appropriate money into the budget, then the contract terminates.
Thank you.
As a matter of law, this city council cannot bind future city councils on expenditure of funds. So that's why this is covering this year, and next year you make the same, as part of the budget, you'll make the same decision.
Thank you for that clarification.
I did have a question. Also, how does this group interface with our communications director?
That's a very good question because frankly, in the past, they haven't. I think that we can work to have better coordination between the electric department communications and the overall city communications, and we can work to that effect.
I did have the occasion this weekend to meet someone whose electric went off 3 times the night before, and went off, and she got 3 notifications from our electric department. She felt like she was really kept well informed, so it seems that we've been doing a good job.
We're trying.
Councilmember Reinecker.
Yeah, can you give me an example of what kind of social media they're going to use? I'm just trying to, I mean, it's a utility that we all have to have.
Mm-hmm.
If it's the service that notifies, that's one thing, but if they're promoting the electric department, I've never seen anything from them before. I've never seen anything from Ameren either, but
Yeah, I think it's more than just promoting the electric department. I think it's informational campaigns with regard to some of our rebate programs and just getting the word out about the tree trimming process that we have. It's informational for citizens. That's the way the electric department has used it previously, and that's where we want to coordinate with our overall outreach efforts in the communications for the city as well. So we can make sure that we get the consistent message across regarding this particular utility.
Any further questions? All righty. Roll call, please.
Mayor Gibbons,
Yes.
Councilmember Jack Sadek,
Yes.
Councilmember Lizzo,
Yes.
Councilmember McLean,
Yes.
Councilmember Reinecker.
I want to clarify, are we voting on this? That's a
Yeah.
final vote?
Mm-hmm.
All right, yes.
Resolution, now you only have 1
Okay,
reading. On ordinances, you'll have 2
all right,
readings.
that's what I wanted to clarify. Okay, yes.
Thank you. Councilmember Schaefer,
Yes.
Councilmember Zimmer.
Yes.
So Resolution 70, 2024 has passed. Resolution 71, 2024.
Mayor and Council, this is a resolution accepting the bid of Bailman Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in the amount of $225,070 pursuant to the State of Missouri Cooperative Contract for the purchase of 5 2024 Dodge Durangos for the Police Department, and authorizing and directing the Director of Procurement to issue a purchase order.
Do I have a motion and a second to accept Resolution 71, 2024 as read?
Motion.
Okay. Are there any questions or comments about this resolution? Okay. Roll call, please.
Mayor Gibbons,
Yes.
Councilmember Jack Sadek,
Yes.
Councilmember Lizzo,
Yes.
Councilmember McLean,
Yes.
Councilmember Reinecker,
Yes.
Councilmember Schaefer,
Yes.
Councilmember Zimmer.
Yes.
Resolution 72, 2024.
Mayor and
I
Council,
se-
this is a resolution accepting the proposal of professional office environments in the amount not to exceed of $156,424.79 for the purchase, assembly, and installation of furniture for the community center renovations, and authorizing and directing the Director of Procurement to issue a purchase order.
Do I have a motion and a second to accept Resolution 72, 2024 as read?
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion on this resolution?
I just
Councilmember
wanted, to-
Letson.
thank you, Mayor. Russ, so on page 4 of 6 of the, whatever it is, bid, I don't know what this thing is called, this quote, says the quote is going to expire on April 24th, 2024. Is it
Uh,
something we should just ignore?
I would say so.
Okay. I just wanted to bring that up in case it's a
know,
material piece of
yeah,
information.
The reason it's expiring here, or it shows it's expiring here, is I believe we waited till the new council came in before taking this on. And
Okay. I mean, there's not going to be. an
they're holding
issue
their
with it.
quote. They're holding
Okay,
their quote.
I think that
Good, okay,
maybe,
that's all.
The new
Oh, thank you.
Is the price
Even
the same,
better.
Kyle?
I was just gonna take the words out of my mouth. Reduction.
Didn't add on $200,000? Okay. Good, thank you.
okay, seeing no further discussion, roll call, please.
Mayor Gibbons,
Yes.
Councilmember Jack Sadek,
Yes.
Councilmember Lizzo,
Yes.
Councilmember McLean,
Yes.
Councilmember Reinecker,
Yes.
Councilmember Schaefer,
Yes.
Councilmember Zimmer.
Yes.
And now we move into city council reports, and I'm sure that our four new folks have lots to report back, right? So anyone have a city council report?
I have lots of
Councilmember
reports, but I don't need to
Letsa.
go first.
Well, you raised your hand first.
Okay. Well, I was just reading, maybe it was a staff email that was sent around, and I happened to notice that Kirkwood Police Department members graduate from the leadership course, and I wanted to congratulate on the record all of the members who went through the Trilogy Series leadership course and are now certified in 3 different courses. It's Sergeant Haskell, Sergeant Akinyemi, Sergeant Patterson, Sergeant Smith, Detective Staber, Detective Melton, Officer Glock, and Lead Dispatcher Janelle Cooper. Bravo, and thank you so much for getting yourselves trained and certified in all of these higher level leadership courses. This is important stuff, and thanks for Chief Murphy for his leadership of the police department. Also, my husband and I support Horizons St. Louis, which is a foundation that provides private monies for summer school and swim lessons and all of that. And I just wanted to share with everyone in case they might be interested in helping children more or less in need over the summer who would take part in summer school, swim lessons, those kinds of things. Horizon St. Louis is an important organization. It's also known as SPROG. They also have a special program in memory of Marie Kelly, who was a special member of our community who died not too long ago of cancer, and a memorial swim program. So if anyone would be interested, they are requesting, and this is a timely request for donations for the Horizons. They have a website, info@horizonstlouis.org if you're interested in donating. Also, I went to the Meacham Park Neighborhood Improvement Association meeting on Monday night, and Sister Barbara Grant is on top of the school, getting kids ready for school for next year. And she is spearheading the program to receive donations of actual school supplies or monetary donations to help support this program. Their goal this year is to provide school supplies for 100 elementary, 100 middle, and 100 high school. She will be receiving donations of actual school supplies. I have a whole list of things. I have her telephone number that I could give if people have questions and are interested in helping support this. 314-401-6595. That's Sister Barbara Grant. She will be taking donations on Tuesdays between 10 a.m. and noon at the Mercy Building on the corner of Kirkwood and Big Bend, Suite 330, on the Tuesdays throughout the month of May. And that's all I have.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else have anything to report? Chief Administrative Officer report.
Yes, Mayor and Council, I do have two items. The first is that the city received an application for a liquor license from 7-Eleven store number 19507L, 639 West Woodbine Avenue, to sell intoxicating liquor in original package plus Sunday. The request needs city council approval by a voice vote.
If I can, Mayor, I want the council to understand, this was before the prior city council at the last meeting, and issues were raised about the condition of the building and some other issues were raised. So they continued it to this evening so that this decision will be made by this body. So the matter is now before you. Mayor, I don't know if you want to explain the issues that were raised at the prior meeting so that council can try to make a determination as to what you want to do.
One of the things that I mentioned is there's a lot of really good things going on in Kirkwood. Our downtown area looks better than ever. The corridor along Manchester Road is looking better than ever. And it's kind of time for South Kirkwood to get a nice look too. This property, the last I looked at it, there was light poles over, the parking lot is in bad shape. It just wasn't a standard that I think we all would want to see. Now, I know Councilmember Zimmer has been there, and maybe you could give an update on that.
Sure. Yeah, we did go by there, and I think that, you know, this is going from a franchisee to a corporate store. And when you go to a corporate store in business, you know, the corporation wants to protect and, you know, improve and promote their brand. It looked like they had made some effort with the lights. You know, the parking lot needs paving. There's a couple of islands that need some work, but the building itself is in good shape. Yes, it is boarded up, but, you know, the building itself is structurally sound. I think with, you know, with the change of ownership, the corporation will make some effort as far as beautification is concerned, which I hope. I don't know if that's should be a condition for a liquor license, but you know, I would hope that an owner of any business would want to beautify their property. I don't know if that's a condition to say no to this.
And Mark, in response to your comments, I understand what you're saying, but as a matter of law, you cannot really condition a liquor license upon structural things and things of that nature.
Yeah.
Now, of course, the city council could delay the granting of the liquor license until you're satisfied that the parking lot and other things are brought up to our standards. But you cannot issue a liquor license that would be only granted if they do certain things. That's relating to building codes and things of that nature.
Yep.
Different process.
Yeah, and that's why I said that. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, that 7-Eleven has been there for decades, decades. The last 8 years that I've been on council, I have not heard one comment from anybody on the condition of that structure, of that business, not a peep. So I get what we want to do, but you know, nobody said anything up to this point, and I am encouraged that hopefully with the ownership, they will make the necessary improvements.
The clerk has informed me that we really need to have a motion. We should have done that before discussion, so.
Motion and a
Motion.
second. A motion and a second, just so you know,
Motion.
is not approving. It's just you're opening it for discussion. So
Yeah.
we technically do need a motion and a second. So, okay, thank you. Thank you,
Second.
Mayor.
Okay.
Thank you.
It doesn't
Thank
have to
you.
repeat
Thanks,
themselves.
Lori.
No, it does not. I've talked to some of the neighbors that live around there, and they really appreciate having something close to them. There's really, they'd have to come way north to have just get a loaf of bread or what have you. So they really do. I have also heard from numerous folks that the little liquor bottles are strewn all over the place. So I think that's a big concern is the liquor bottles. Is there someone here from 7-Eleven? You want to come up and maybe we could address questions to you about the property? Could you tell us what the plans are and are you, oh, yeah, state your name and.
Yeah, my name is Anthony Galai. I'm the corporate race coach. So I'm here with the store manager, Sunshine. So it used to be the franchise store. Now we take over to the corporate. So there is a difference between franchise and corporate. I mean, I hear what they're talking about the outside and everything. We're gonna rebuild everything like new and everything, and the how we do is different than the corporate. So the cigarette, when the cigarette license and everything. So when somebody comes cigarette or alcohol, we have to ask every age, everybody. So, I mean, we're gonna be different, we're gonna make a change for the community.
Does anyone have any questions of this gentleman?
What's your position with corporate?
Risk coach for the 7-Eleven out of
Risk-
Dallas, Texas.
Sorry, research?
Risk coach, like a trainer.
Trainer.
Yeah.
Trainer, corporate trainer.
Yeah.
And are you based out of St. Louis? Or are you worried?
Yeah, I used to be a manager here, but now I work out of Dallas, Texas.
As a corporate store, how often does a corporate come and look at?
We have a corporate office here too. So we have only one corporate store. This is going to be the second one. So this is a good chance for us, to change and to remodel.
Where's your other corporate store here?
And downtown, around downtown.
Thank you.
When is the plan to reopen?
Anytime you guys approve for us.
Oh, so it's pending the liquor license?
Yes.
Do you have any,
For the liquor license, we train our employees, the video training and class training. If they fail the classes, we're not gonna hire. So we have our secret shopper for the, we hire secret shopper for the stores. They go, check it out. If they fail, selling alcohol or cigarette for somebody, they're gonna get fired. So we are restricted for that.
and the manager that you pointed out, was the manager
Yeah, she's gonna-
previously?
Yeah, she used to be manager on Arnold. We sold it. Arnold, I don't know, it's far from here, but we sold it. So now she's gonna be here, a manager for this place.
Question.
Uh,
Go ahead.
Councilmember Schaefer.
Have you pulled building permits for any of the work that's going on inside? Because I see people in and out of there doing work. Has there been
We just
upgrades to the utilities in there or?
Yeah, everything there, we cleaning inside. It was,
I understand.
yeah.
But did you pull any permits from the city of Kirkwood for inspections to look at what plumbing and electrical that's been going on in there?
So we don't do no electric and plumbing.
Okay.
It's already,
So you're reutilizing what's there now and you're not upgrading any of that?
yeah, we're gonna upgrade the floor and outside.
You did cosmetic stuff. You didn't do like new HVAC systems or any of that stuff?
No, if we fail the permit, if we fail, yes, we do it, but we good. Everything is good inside.
Okay, so everything that you've been doing in there has just been cleanup and from previous and clean out of stuff that's
Yes,
there.
it was made
Let's,
inside.
let's ask our city planner about the status as well.
So they are required and they have applied for an occupancy permit.
There we go.
And so we've inspected for occupancy. And so, so we're aware of the work going inside. Our inspectors have been there on site. There are a few items that you all have mentioned, including the parking lot. They straightened out one of the light posts that was leaning. So these were all conditions of our occupancy. So whether or not you grant a liquor license, they still can't get in the building until we give them an occupancy permit.
Gotcha.
So a lot of the maintenance and items that you've referenced will be taken care of prior to us granting the occupancy permit. So
Good enough for me.
I do have a question about the little liquor bottles that I mentioned, because the neighbors say they're all over. What are your plans to combat that?
So we have, employees to clean every shift. We have 3 shifts, day and midday and overnight. So we clean, we have like 2 or 3 employees per shift. So we clean all the area and everything. So we take care.
So you'll actually go into onto the street there
Oh,
and
yeah,
clean
that's
up
what
the
we do.
street.
Yes.
And what about plantings? Do you have any plans for landscaping?
Yes, we have our landscaping, for grass and for everything, yes.
Okay.
I have a plan.
And there'll be plenty of trash receptacles outside of the building as well?
Yes, we're gonna clean, you will see it, you will see a big change. This is gonna be a corporate store. It's gonna be a big change. It's gonna be good.
Okay, what other questions? Anybody
I have a
else?
question.
Yes,
Um,
Councilmember Bledsoe.
So, regardless of how this changed hands from a franchisee to corporate, is the intention that corporate is going to continue operating and owning this facility? Or are you guys came in because there were deficiencies and you're, trying to upgrade the look and all of that kind of stuff and may consider selling it to a franchisee again, or what's?
For now, we are running the store, so we have only 2 corporate stores, so we need the store.
Mhm.
So I think we're gonna keep this store,
The intention is for it to remain, at least for the
corporate store.
foreseeable future as a corporate. The intention is to keep it as a corporate store.
Yes.
Okay. Because, not to go on and on about this, but I agree with the rest of council members and the mayor as to the kind of rundown condition at that facility. And I look forward to it because there's lots of opportunity for redevelopment in that area. And honestly, it's kind of been an eyesore over there. So I look forward to you coming in and bringing some improvements in. Thank you.
Yes, Councilmember Schaefer.
So I guess I'm asking Jonathan this, John. So if it goes from a franchise, from the corporate to a franchise, do they have to come back and ask for another liquor license?
Yes, they'd have to transfer the liquor license from the managing officer for the franchise over to the franchisee.
Perfect, thank you.
Yes,
I don't have a question for you.
Councilmember Reinecker.
I'd like to see a delay on this until, we've all made these, we like to see this, we'd like to see that, he promises everything, but I don't know why we don't wait and see what happens for a little while. I'm gonna vote no at this point. All I have.
Anybody else?
Could I speak to our city attorney?
Is that a motion to continue, Al, or?
I don't know, yeah.
John, can you comment on, we just had a brief discussion about the liquor license and it really cannot be a condition and et cetera, et cetera. What's your opinion of continuing this to wait and see how things proceed over there? It seems like 2 different questions.
Based on what I heard, I don't see any prejudice to the applicant by continuing this matter to the next meeting to see what kind of progress is being made with respect to the building. Obviously, I can assume that the franchisor is making all of these renovations and improvements. In large part, it's going to be the liquor license will be needed, is my guess. Only because that becomes a fairly significant sales item, attracting people into the 7-Eleven for the alcohol, and then they buy something else. So I'm aware of those kinds of processes. I mentioned at the last meeting, my brother was a franchisee owner of a 7-Eleven and did well. I'm familiar enough with the process to understand and appreciate that they will want a liquor license. And that's a fairly critical aspect of their business. But again, what I've heard this evening is that there's no rush on this, that improvements still need to be made through the occupancy permit process. And I would encourage the city council to continue this matter to the next meeting rather than, no offense, Al, rather than voting no. Because right now, I'm not quite sure what the rationale is to vote no, but that's a discussion we could have in a closed meeting. So my recommendation is to continue it to the next meeting, and let's see where we are in 2 weeks.
I move that we continue this matter to May, what's our next meeting? 16th.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Any discussion?
Any discussion on the motion? Roll call vote, please.
Well, no,
All in favor?
it's usually all
Oh.
in favor, yay or nay.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
All in
Yeah.
favor?
Oh, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We'll look forward to having you back next time to tell us the progress, and we'll all probably go look as well.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work.
Maybe some
Also-
pictures, too.
Also, we have a second request here. We received an application for a liquor license from Sri Lakshmi BP, 10901 Manchester Road, to sell intoxicating liquor in the original package plus Sunday. This request would also need a city council approval by a voice vote.
Okay. May I have a motion and a second to discuss this?
So move.
Second.
Okay. Are there any comments, any discussion?
This is an annual request for a liquor license.
Wouldn't be an annual, and
Or-
there's no box checked on here. I'm assuming because it's relating to a change in the managing officer. When there's a change in the managing officer, the company has to come back and ask for a transfer of that liquor license, and I believe that's what you have before you.
Is there anyone here that is applying for this? I do want to let you know that I've received a police report about this property. There have been 12 incidents of minors purchasing intoxicating liquor in the last 13.5 months. Well, from November of 2021 to January of 2023. They did lose their license for 30 days because of that. They have, since 2019, there's been 138 calls to the establishment.
We know what the nature of those calls were?
There, I can give you a few. I do not know all of them. There's 5 suspicious persons activity, 1 disorderly conduct, 3 liquor law violations, 4 juvenile problems.
Since they lost their license, has there been additional occurrences?
My understanding is that the state held a hearing, and I don't know whether or not they consented to it, but their license was suspended for 30 days.
And then has there been reoccurring underage selling since
don't know,
that
Gina.
suspension?
I don't know the answer to that.
I want to vote to deny this.
I would recommend that you seek a motion to approve. So we always like the motions to be in the affirmative.
Okay.
So they're easier to keep track of. that
Okay.
way. So rather than voting to deny, voting yes to deny, it gets complicated. So make a motion to approve, and if you want to vote no, then obviously that's the denial.
Can I have
Thank
a
you.
question, Liz,
Oh, yeah.
before you?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
If we were to deny it, then how long does he have to wait to come back?
I don't know the answer to that, Mark. They certainly can come back, and I don't know within what time period they have to wait to come back. I just don't know the answer to that.
Councilmember Schaefer.
So can we continue this? Because the petitioner's not even here that we could ask questions of. And I would certainly like to ask the questions of what's gone on over at the station so far. It's just a common sense thing for me that if you're trying to get a liquor license, that you would be here representing yourself. So especially with what we know so far. So that's where I'm at. So.
Okay. Councilman Bledsoe.
Do you want to make I'm waiting to see who wants to
Yeah.
make the first motion. If you want
Well-
to make a motion to continue it, Paul, then you make a motion.
I'll make a motion that we continue this to
Second.
the May 16th meeting.
Now there's a discussion on the motion to continue.
Yes.
I would like to
Councilmember
get
Zimmer.
some more of this information. I think if we're gonna review this the way we want to review it, let's look at, when their license was suspended. What's happened since then? How's the owner reacted? I think in order to make the right
here.
decision, we need further information.
I don't disagree with you, however, he's not here, he or she is not here tonight.
No.
And that's why I was asking the question, when can they reapply? I'm along the lines of denying it and letting them come back to us since he's not here, he or she's not here, which always irks me if someone applies for something and they don't show up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Councilmember Reinecker.
I went in there this week because I knew this was coming up, and I just walked around, grabbed a soda or something like that. And nobody bought gas while I was there, but about 5 high school kids stopped in to buy cigarettes and whatever they smoked, None of it was all across the counter stuff, whatever's back there. I don't think it was liquor. I mean, I would have noticed that, but they weren't buying gasoline and they weren't middle-aged people. So it was kind of seedy, I thought.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor.
Motion to continue.
To continue.
Okay, any other discussion?
Well, and, yeah,
Let's-
I definitely support this, but, and I mean, I really would like more information. All of your police reports and all of that took me totally by surprise. I have heard, I don't know if this is factual or not, but they also have VLTs in this facility, which is another bone of contention at the state level as far as gray machines and all that kind of stuff, and with underage kids possibly using them. So I would like more information. I would like the petitioner to appear and answer some questions and get more information about this facility.
Anybody else have anything to say? Okay.
I will just add from a legal standpoint, want this to be abundantly clear. The sale of alcohol is a privilege, not a right. I learned that a long, long time ago, and that's absolutely true. Having said that, it's a lot easier to defend an action in court if one is pursued by having the applicant have an opportunity to explain themselves. They may not convince you, but at least they have an opportunity to do that. So from a legal standpoint, I would encourage you to continue it rather than just voting it down. It may not change your mind at all at the next meeting, but that would be my recommendation.
All right.
Sorry, Mayor.
The motion we have on the table now is to continue
To
to.
continue it, right.
May
Okay.
16th.
Okay, and that would be a nay.
Motion to continue.
Yes. All right.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
We have a time, it's continued to when?
May
Oh,
16th.
Till May 16th, till the next meeting. Yeah. Mhm.
And then who will contact the petitioner?
We'll make sure they're contacted.
There you go, Russ.
All right. Is there a city attorney report?
There is nothing to report.
Okay. All right. City clerk report.
Yes, Your Honor, I have two things to report on. The first is the report of the May 1st, 2024 meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission. The following action was taken. After a presentation by staff and the petitioner for a zoning map amendment from B4 Planned Commercial District to B2 Central Business District at 119 West Woodbine Avenue, a subcommittee was appointed. The subcommittee will meet on site at 8 a.m. on Monday, May 6th. The second item is to report on a scheduled upcoming public hearing. We have a scheduled upcoming hearing for your next meeting, May 16th, for a request for a zoning text amendment to add hours of operation to the use-specific standards for the personal and commercial service use in the B1 zoning district and to allow for the extension of hours of operation through approval of a special use permit in the use-specific standards for the personal and commercial service, restaurant, and retail business uses in the B1 zoning district. And that's all I have.
Okay. All righty. Anything else?
Just a quick comment. I want to tell you, it's a privilege to be back again, and it's definitely a privilege to be with you at your first meeting and this illustrious group up here. I'm delighted to be here and excited for the next many years to come. And one quick shout out to my grandson who quizzed me about what this voting stuff was about and why I thought people should vote for me and why I needed this. So hopefully we'll rewind this tape, at least the last few minutes, and let him see his grandma actually did make it.
Oh, yeah.
Gina, congratulations.
Yeah.
You made your first meeting.
No,
Mayor did a great job
Thank you.
Congratulations to you two for
Yeah.
being back.
for being
we're
back.
back.
Oh, and thank you.
Almost like riding a bike, but not quite.
All righty. Well, seeing no further business, this meeting is now adjourned. The next regular scheduled meeting is May 16th, 2024. Thank you.
Good job.